Philip, it's great to have you here to talk about our coronavirus emergency response. I know as one of the leads of the coronavirus emergency response team, you've been working night and day literally on getting our campus community ready to return for fall. Tell us a little bit about Cert and who's involved.
Cert, which is a new WPI acronym, and you know how we love our acronyms here, stands for Coronavirus Emergency Response Team. And that group really started meeting back in January when we first received news of this virus that was starting to appear over in Wuhan. And that's when the group really started meeting. And Cert is a cross-section of members of the university community, really representing not only academics, but health services, student life and activities, campus police, Ron Bashista, our emergency management director, really a cross-section of the community that really has been working this problem since January.
From all angles, right? We bring teams together across the campus so that we leave no stone unturned. And there are really more than 200 people across the campus have been working on this, on the various sub-teams, is that right?
Yeah, 200, about 200 really since the very beginning, since January, in different phases. And as we've reached each critical venture of decision making for the university, different groups, we reconstitute the team to be able to bring in the next set of experts, both internally and really externally. It's funny, Laurie, because as we've gone through this process, it really mirrors our WPI experience of theory and practice, that this has been really like a huge project where we're trying to solve a tremendous world problem.
Yeah, and bring it home
this virus
right here.
And bring it home
Yeah.
and really study it the same way. It's like you do some research, you get new information, you pivot, you bring in experts, whether that's an epidemiologist, whether that's a team that's going to look at our physical campus setup and our cleaning products, or how do we get the appropriate supply of PPE to be able to function. And as I've thought about it over time, it really is in this context of this is like a giant project that our students would undertake. You reach an obstacle, you pivot, and then you redirect and you keep moving.
That's right. We gotta keep going. So we're at this pivot moment from theory to practice, really, right? We announced on July 1st our intent to bring people back to the campus. Faculty and staff are starting to come back to campus already. There's more cars in the parking lot than there have been. Some of the dining is starting to reopen. It's very exciting. But really the big, we're taking these plans and now really putting them into practice. And what are the kinds of questions that are coming up as we're doing that? What are we hearing from folks about what their concerns are, and are we confident we're addressing them?
Obviously the safety is the primary thing that we hear most consistently. We recognize that there are members of our community, faculty and staff, who themselves are in a high-risk category.
Absolutely.
Or maybe
Students
living,
too.
yeah,
Students too.
and maybe living with someone that may be in a high-risk category, and students as well. And so that's a lot of our core plans are really focused on the appropriate steps we need to take to ensure safety, which is why we're approaching the reopening more in this blended approach, so that we have, for the educational delivery, we have a remote option so that someone that feels that for whatever reason that they cannot come to campus, that they can access their education remotely. And even clubs and organizations, we've learned over the course of the summer, the out-of-class experience, we've pivoted and figured out how to do that safely and remotely to have our community stay connected, but really in different ways.
It has been amazing to me to see how the community has stepped forward with creative solutions, and everything from classroom environments and how to have learning continue, to thinking differently about our residence halls or our clubs and activities. And again, I'm so impressed with the Cert because it has left no stone unturned. And then the last thing I would love to talk about a little bit is our plans for testing and such. We've recently signed on with the Broad Institute. We'll be doing lots of testing on the campus. And so people should feel really confident that when we know we're going to have cases, but that we'll find them quickly and isolate them. We've got isolation space and quarantine capabilities. Talk a little bit more about the level of safety provided by testing.
Well, and every institution's approaching this a little bit differently. We have really taken a very aggressive approach in terms of our testing because, as you were just describing, really with the virus and also because of some of it is asymptomatic spreading, that it's important to be able to identify as quickly as possible so that someone that may be, symptomatic or asymptomatic, but by testing regularly, we're able to really identify them and then implement our plans for both isolation and quarantine based on that individual, but also the circles of people in terms of concentration where they may have traveled on our campus. And so that's part of it. So we've been developing our plan. What has been really critical of a more aggressive plan, more regular testing for early identification so that we can then identify that person, separate them, be able to still support them both with regular check-in from healthcare, but also bringing meals to them, making sure that they have what they need to be able to continue to attend class while they go through the recovery period so that then they can rejoin physically campus as quickly as possible.
That's right. We're going to get them back in the mix as quickly as possible once it's safe to do so. So, that's a lot to do. And how's our team doing here at WPI? Are people excited to have students coming back here shortly?
Yeah, funny story. So I was on campus earlier this weekend and was leaving, and one of our students was here, on the patio. So I came out the door and startled her, and she's like, "Hello," and she's like, "I hope it's okay. I'm here. I just was, I'm doing a remote internship, but I'm also taking a class, and I just come here at night because it's a different place." And so we're both masked. We're in our face covering. So we just had a conversation about, coming back to campus and what that's going to mean. And, it's going to be different, but we recognize that in order for this to really work, it really takes everyone's commitment to be thinking about how we protect each other.
Right.
In order to be able to support our community as a whole really means looking out for each other and having each other's back, which really is part of our campus culture anyway. But it's really recognizing at this moment in time in history, that level of support and recognizing that wearing a facial covering is not really about you, it's about protecting other people. And as long as we can keep that at the forefront, everything that we're doing is really about protecting each other and allowing us to be able to stay as members of our community in a meaningful but yet different way.
Well, that's right. So it's all about those safety protocols. Wear your mask, everybody. Everybody who's going to come to the campus, you're going to be wearing masks a lot. Even though sometimes they fall down like mine keeps doing, it's a really huge part. I'm really confident we can keep each other safe if we're willing to just do simple things like this. So glad you're with us. Glad the whole Cert has been doing such an amazing job planning, and looking forward. I know we both are to welcoming our students back. So thanks for all you're doing, Philip.
Absolutely.